Bucks County Community College was founded in 1964 on 200 acres of what was then the Tyler Estate in Newtown Township, Pennsylvania. Stella Elkins Tyler was a sculptor and patron of the arts. Her home and many of her works of art are focal points on the college campus. The artistic roots of Bucks County have spawned an institution that, from the beginning, was aware of its cultural heritage. The artists, scholars, and teachers of Bucks County Community College were, and are, exceptional. Their talent, passion, and commitment have been inspiring students of all ages and backgrounds for decades. The Treasures Project, funded by a college cultural incentive grant, aspires to capture the work and voices of those who have nurtured the college's programs, along with its students, imaginatively and creatively. We hope you share our delight in this Bucks County treasure trove. You are about to eavesdrop on a conversation between two artists who were among the early visionaries at Bucks County Community College. Paul Keene, born in 1920 in Philadelphia, has long been gripped by the creative process. Early in his career, as a Philadelphia-based participant in the Depression-era relief program, the WPA Art Projects, Keene demonstrated what was possible for artists to accomplish, and in particular, given the times, for an African-American artist to accomplish. While still an art student, Paul Keene began to exhibit his work in Philadelphia and New York galleries. His major and solo exhibitions now span 4 continents and 6 decades. After studies that took him to Paris, where he once exhibited with Picasso, and Haiti, where he was the director of the country's first school of art, Keene became one of the first African-American faculty members at the Philadelphia College of Art. It was in 1968 that Keene came to Bucks County Community College, where he taught for almost 20 years. This quiet man who speaks volumes with his art shares insightful interpretation of his pieces with fellow artist Selma Bortner. Selma and Paul began their sojourn at the college in the same year. They are credited by their students with creating an environment in which young artists thrive. Selma Bortner, a Bucks County printmaker, has been exhibiting her colorful and evocative prints for more than 30 years. She studied at the Tyler School of Art and the Philadelphia College of Art and taught printmaking and design at Bucks County Community College for 23 years. Together, these icons explore the joy of artistic creation and the early threads of an art culture that continues at Bucks County Community College to this day.
Well, here we are, Paul.
Yeah,
It's time that we talked about your life,
it's near the end of the line, as they say.
so to speak. The first time I met you was when you and I were assigned the same studio.
First, I was next door because it got so crowded in there. I moved in with you.
I think Ann Graham and Neil Estern and myself were there. And then all of a sudden you appeared.
I had a place to go.
The reason we took you in is because Laura packed you sandwiches for lunch and I used to eat them, remember?
Yeah.
And then from that point, where did you go when we graduated?
We went to Europe in September.
Did you immediately know about Bob Rosenwald's gallery?
Bob was sitting on the front step at Tyler. That's when I met him.
Oh, really?
And then he sat down with me and we talked.
Uh-huh.
And I had a good time.
So when you went to Paris, you looked him up?
Yes, well, he gave his studio to, he gave it to Bill Rivers to use he wanted. And Bill decided that everybody would have a shot at having a show in Paris. And it's one little gallery, and the gallery is no bigger than this. We did get a chance to have a painting up, and from that point on, it was, everything was really great.
Did you enroll in classes right away when you got to Paris?
Yes, I was in Académie Julian, the one up Triomphe, Arc de Triomphe. And I was there pretty much the whole time. And the longest, tallest pair of steps I ever saw in my life.
How long were you there? How long did you go to that academy?
We were there for 2.5 years.
And you continued all the time there, huh? Did you work with other teachers? Were there other painters there?
I started out, but I didn't like what I saw, so I never went back. I just painted on my own.
I see. So when you came back from Paris, what did you do?
Well, I applied for Whitney, and then I went to the West Indies. It's quite interesting going from to making that transition at that point where it was ice and snow here, and suddenly you're dancing under the breezes and all that kind of fun.
Yeah. What was Haiti like other than the good weather?
Strange.
Very strange.
Strange place.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you do a lot of painting there? Or
Yeah, I worked at the Arts Center, at DeWitt Peters, and I had a club in composition, but it was just so that the embassy knew that I was working.
So what was the nature of your work there? Was it figurative, or did you go abstract, or in Haiti?
I was figurative when I started, and then it slowly started to shift, because that was when I became aware of Picasso.
In Haiti?
You know, looking at these originals.
Yeah. You were there for how long? A year or two?
We were there 2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Like
Wow.
somewhere within that range.
Did you get home at all during that time?
No, because we had so little money.
You couldn't afford it.
When we left France, when we got to New York, I had a quarter.
Oh, gee.
If it hadn't been for my folks coming to meet us, we'd still be sitting on the dock. Yeah.
So when you came back from Haiti, when the fellowship was finished, then what did you do?
Well, I got an extension for another year, and I just painted here in Philadelphia.
Oh, here.
And that's when Dubin opened up his gallery.
Oh, yeah. And then what happened after the Dubin Gallery? Did you go to work right away at PCA?
Just trying to remember.
I could look it up.
Go ahead.
I could look it up. I think I could look it up. All I know is that you got a lot of work out in museums, and you were exhibiting, my God, I think, well, my material only goes back to 1966.
Well, after that, I got kind of tired. I wanted to break away. I think I did. The funny thing, I didn't realize I was doing it.
So you quit painting in the Renaissance manner.
Everyone asked me, "You're going to quit painting?" No, I don't know how to do anything else.
Right.
And I don't want to do anything else.
I know. You had the common disease. We all suffer from that disease. That kind of stupid thing that we didn't know how to do anything else, you know? You're back in Philadelphia from Haiti. And when did you start to work at PCA?
I've been here about a year and a half. When I had been for a job.
Did you like it?
That was a great experience.
I think there was kind of an interaction between the academy and Tyler. The students really got to know each other in an informal way.
Well,
and I think it speaks very well for Tyler, because we were such a new school.
Yes.
I mean, what were we, like 5, 6 years old when I came there?
I never heard of the place. I stumbled on it.
Yeah.
Somebody
said,
"Why don't you go visit all these places?" So I did. When I got to Tyler, I said, "This is for me."
Yeah.
Because it was a good time.
But I think that was the best thing that could have ever happened to both of us, to have gone to an atmosphere as rich as Tyler was. I felt like I had died and gone to heaven, to tell you the truth.
I always just couldn't believe I was there. You know?
Let's take a break now and have a cup of coffee. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I've enjoyed working on it. I'm over a year on it and still putting some time. And what I wanted was a way to explain the 9/11 incident as I saw it in terms of form and color. Usually I say, there it is, you know. You work it out. Go where you want with it. Maybe I'll get an idea from you. See how it works.
This is the center,
Yeah.
the,
This whole place.
boy, those colors are really great. I like the way there's this kind of lateral motion at the
Yeah.
top, and then this falling motion right next to it. And this sort of smoky stuff. I think you're almost finished.
I feel almost I am, but there's still a few areas I'd like to work out
Yeah.
just a little more.
Right. Why don't we look at some of the work that you did during your jazz period? We haven't even talked about that, and that was an important period.
Well, I only had a couple pictures,
Yeah.
just a couple.
Right, let's talk about these then.
It has to do with listening to jazz, listening to music, and knowing these people, knowing some of them, and trying to make something sing along with the drawing.
Who are the people in this drawing?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you knew them.
I did it one time, some of them,
Oh.
but these are old guys, and old as I am.
Oh. That's pretty old, huh?
It is, but I don't try to make them anybody I know. I try to make a drawing,
Right.
and whatever comes up, I'll go with. That's why I said I don't know who they are. I knew them at one time, I can say.
Mm-hmm. Did you go to a nightclub or a place where they were? Or?
No, well I go, but I don't draw.
You don't draw on the spot.
No,
No.
I can't do it.
How about that one?
That's again the environment in North Philadelphia.
I like the detail at the bottom.
It's like the music's there and you hear it. If you're there long enough, you not only hear it, you understand it. And you pick up pieces of it and put them together. That's what happens with these drawings. They're pieces of a lot of places, but it's what these guys were doing. It was important. If I could get the sound of that music on paper, then I'm ahead of the game. But it doesn't happen often.
Where did you go to hear the music?
Oh, the Pearl Theater, the Lincoln Theater, the Susquehanna, Uptown.
The Uptown.
The Uptown.
I used to live a block away from here.
Yeah. And that's where it happened, down all the joints on Ridge Avenue and Ridge and Columbia.
Right.
It's all there.
Yeah.
Now these are bronze castings. They're made out of scrap pieces of metal, and you melt wax and cast it, and then you take it out and then you start to refine it, getting rid of the things that you don't want by using a steel wheel. I just enjoy doing them. I just like to do them. They are very heavy and very strong, and what I'm trying to do is refine the surface of the things.
This looks like a torso,
Yeah.
and it's got beautiful marks and scratches on here that you probably made.
Well, that's
from the
meant to
past.
be.
The surface is so beautiful here. You want
That's
to
what
touch it.
that's what I like.
Yeah, me too.
This-
And it's the contrast of the dark spots in here.
And this
Same
is-
thing on the back. Beautiful.
I have to cut away a piece here, this bell-shaped form, because it doesn't fit for what I want for the rest of it. And the only thing about using scraps like this, you never know what was in it. I find nails coming out. Everything you can.
Oh yeah, I like that.
So but just break it off.
This is a lovely torso.
You buy a big hunk of wax. You buy it right from the refining company. It's all packed in a box and everything. And then you start to just melt it down in the pot, break it off, and start putting it on a wire. frame,
Armature.
a torso. It's got to have that other will collapse. And then you start building up how you want. You can carve away, cut away. It starts to grow under your fingertips. I'm excited about it. It gives me another medium to play with. I like the whole idea of the dimension. It has a kind of reality that's totally different from a drawing or a painting, like it should be. It takes a long time to refine it to get the surface you want. And you have to be careful that you get a surface that's going to increase the knowledge and the feeling for the work that you're doing. And so sometimes you have to throw it all back into the pot and let it boil again. I get past that point as fast as I can because I don't like to start things over. They're all mostly open figures, and they're kind of gruesome in a way, but at the same time, they have nothing to do with what they seem to be. But it's all right. They're figures. As long as you can understand what I'm trying to say about them, is that they're an introduction to a way of thinking that involves listening to music. All of these things here have a subject, but it's not a subject in terms of what I've been made to understand subject. It's a feeling of the whole thing, understanding the music, understanding the rhythms, the different kind of rhythms that are coming out faster, slower than you can think. And it's great. I can sit and listen to that all the time. I'm not trying to get the people to understand my work. I don't even understand it. But something happens there that connects with all these outside influences, and then it can remind you so many things. It's a way of life. You've got to live it. So thank you again. I enjoyed my end of it. I hope yours is just as enjoyable.
We hope you enjoyed meeting these Bucks County Community College treasures. We look forward to capturing many more of the treasures who have played such an inspiring part in the history of the college.